What's up everyone, this is SupaRn. So today I wanted to give you guys an overview of what the house looks like because we're beginning the demolition tomorrow. So just wanted to show you what we are going to be working with, what's the starting point. Here I am standing in front of the property. As you can see, there's no garage on the front. So on my left, there's the two bedrooms, and on the right, behind the trees, there's the living room. So the plan is to build a garage on the front where these trees are pretty much, and extend it like forward. So for now, I call like 811 before we start digging, and I hope you can see the white markings. I guess you're supposed to call 811 before you do any sort of digging, so they can come in and mark out all the utilities that may be underground. So let me show you what the demolition crew is going to do. First of all, they're going to remove like all these plants and the plants over here, all the siding and the brick siding, this landing that you see over here. They're basically going to clear off this whole area. They're also going to remove all this concrete that goes up to the sidewalk. They're going to stay away from the sidewalk because there's no garage on the front, so we'd be building a new driveway approach, and that's like a separate permit. So we'll go as close to the sidewalk as we can, and then do the rest of the work when we are going to make the driveway approach. So they're going to remove all these trees pretty much, these posts that you see. So in order to remove this porch, they're going to cut this overhang as close to the wall as possible, remove all this siding, remove this brick, remove this landing over here, and remove all these posts. The framer is going to do the rest of the cleanup job pretty much. So the demolition crew in general is not gonna make any structural changes. They're not gonna cut anything that I feel like is structural. I'm gonna leave it to the framer, and they're mostly gonna do like 90% of the job. So let's go inside. As you can see, all the drywall's already stripped. There was no insulation in the house. This is something I started like last year, so I demoed like the interiors of the house like all together, well, like in 2 steps, because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was gonna be working with, like if the wood's rotten, or let's say if there are any structural damages to the property, like things of that sort. Luckily the framing looks pretty good, so I'm not too worried about that. There was no insulation, almost no asbestos except one of the pipes, so I had to call like a remediation company to take care of it. The pipe was like somewhere over there. I think it was an old vent pipe. So we're standing in the living room right now, and this is the huge window that you could see from the outside. So here we have the fireplace marked with X. My wife marked these yesterday. We are going to be removing this fireplace and making this room square. So the framer is going to send one of his guys maybe tomorrow or sometime next week to do shoring. Once they do that, then the demolition crew is going to start working on this side of the house. So let me show you this other angle. So now I'm facing the old dining room and the family room. Originally, the house was built in 1950s, and it ended where the dining room ends, pretty much where you see that beam. Later, like maybe a few years down the road, the previous owners decided to make an addition, and they added the new family room in the back. So right where you see this dark line over here, there is a foundation, like an exterior foundation that runs, because that's where the house ended. And then there was a new foundation added for the family room. So for the family room, we are reframing the whole thing because the ceiling height is like 8 feet today, and we want it to be like 10 feet. So pretty much The whole area over here is gonna be reframed. So the demolition crew is gonna remove all the roof, the joists, the wall framing, this fireplace, including like the subfloor. They're gonna leave the floor joists as it is, and we'll see like if we can re-level them and put a new subfloor. Worst case, we'll just replace the floor joists as well. So the reason to replace the subfloor is because if you notice there's a difference in the level. So the current subfloor is 3/4 inch planks, I would say, and then the other subfloor is like just 2x4s. So there's about a 1/4 inch or maybe a little bit more difference in the level. And yeah, I thought like it would be a good idea to just rip the whole thing out and level it with the existing house. The other option was to lay down a new sheet of plywood all around the house. That way we could raise the level of the old floor and match it with the family room. But I was a bit skeptical because that would mean the door jamb height's gonna change and we won't have, let's say, enough of a gap between the door and the floor, the finished floor. So yeah, I just thought like I'll keep it simple, and that's the way it's gonna be. So let's look at the kitchen now. This was the old kitchen. The white thing is like the back of the new sub panel that I got installed like last year when we did the demo. There's a whole story why I decided to do that, which we'll get to like later. You can still see some of the old plumbing over there and the gas connection over here. So while we are making changes to this part of the house, like the kitchen and the rest, the demolition crew is not gonna do anything over here because this is more like structural framing, so I don't want them to mess with it. So they're just gonna cut like the family room from this end and all the way to the roof line, and just remove the framing, the subfloor, and like doors, windows, etc. Those are some wise cams. I need to put them. I'll put them up today so that I don't have to come here all the time and I can see what's going on every day. So let's move to the outside. This is the existing garage, so the property has an access on the back. There's no driveway in the front of the property, so this garage is accessible from the other side. And the problem is that there's not enough like space here to make a driveway. I believe you need about like 10 feet minimum for it to be compliant with the building code. Here we have about like 7.5, even if we get rid of, let's say, the brick siding on the front. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So like from here all the way to like here, it's almost like about 6.5, 7 feet. So last year when we bought the property, the first thing I did was to upgrade the electric service to 400 amps. Originally the house had 60 amp service, and the service drop was from that pole into the garage. Now we moved the service to the house so that we can renovate or remodel the garage whenever the time comes. Going to the back. So this is the sort of a courtyard. As you can see the white markings because we are going to be digging here. So we're making an addition in the back from this corner to that corner. So it's going to be like a square, and that's where the new master is going to be. This is a nice lemon tree, but that's going to be removed. We'll try to replant it, but let's see how it goes. So let me give you a tour from the back. So as I said, we're building the addition starting from that point or to that point and like making a square pretty much. So the plan is to cut the concrete from that corner in a straight line and keep cutting it until this point, and then remove everything on the other side of the cut line. The demolition guys are gonna grind the sharp edge of the concrete because it might be dangerous for whoever's gonna be working here later on. So all this concrete that you see, all these pots, these cinder blocks, the tree, these pavers, these stones over here, those pavers, the brick, pretty much all is gonna be cleaned up. They're gonna remove the concrete over here that runs around the house because we are putting a new sliding door where that window is, and to support the weight we need to reinforce the foundation, so we need to remove it to get access to the exterior of the foundation. And yeah, pretty much that's all they're gonna do over here. And then lastly, they're gonna remove the shingles from the roof. They're not gonna remove the plywood or OSB or any of the decking pretty much, but they will get rid of, let's say, the vents, the sun tunnel or the skylight, whatever it is, all these vents, the shingles, the underlayment paper, etc. One thing that we need to be really careful about is the sewer line. So we have a sewer plug here, and the sewer lines runs all the way to the back of the property because, as I said, there's like two sides or two accesses to the property. There's an alley in the back, so I guess that's where the sewer lines for this side of the houses connect to. We put in a camera like a long time ago to see which direction it runs and how far it goes, and it's probably like about 80 to 90 feet of a straight run where it then meets with the main sewer line. And then we have this beautiful oak tree. I don't know if you can see it. I hope it was fun watching the current state of the house and what we are starting off with. So next I'm gonna mount a few security cameras so that I can keep track of how things progress. If you enjoyed and you're interested in the future videos, please subscribe. I'll post the updates regularly as the project progresses along. Alright, stay tuned. Bye.